All opinions are those of the participants making them and are not an endorsement of any position, program, religion, or political affiliation. DFG's Corner is for information, observations, and entertainment. I ask that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is DFG, the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce. Coming to you live from the 571, where we're having fun and we're getting things done. Hey, I'm doing my thing and making it swing. On tonight, I got my favorite girl, the Chocolate Pearl Way, coming from Jacksonville, where she's always dressed to kill, a fashion designer and no one finer. Come on, Chocolate Pearl, introduce yourself to the world.
Hey y'all, it's voting day. Hopefully everybody got out there today and voted if they didn't already vote previously. I'm doing good today. I'm sleepy, but that fashion designer was at it today and I had made these little earrings today
Look at that, look at
and
that. When we
to
gonna get another
represent.
commercial from you?
I told you I sent it to you, but I'll send you another one. I sent it
Yeah.
to you. But
Send it to me
anyway, we'll
again.
talk about that off show.
Okay, that sounds good
But
to me.
hello, everybody out there in media land, social media land, and everything. Hey, Kim, how you doing? Apple is on the scene of the voter polls.
Hello.
She's working the voting polls today, and uh, I don't know if hers closed yet. She said that she may not be on, or if she does,
They
she'll
close.
be on a little later on.
I think in the city they close around 9.
Yeah, so
So
she
because
may
they
not
don't
be
usually
on.
start. They don't usually stop counting until about 11. So yeah, she gonna be there for a while, but that's all right. We can still talk without her. She'll catch it on the rebound. Well, today's subject is an interesting one. It was given to me by lovely Kim, and today's subject is: do you have a career or a job? Are you there to do the work or get a paycheck? Now, if I was to say that I loved every job that I've done in my life, may lightning strike me down because I'd be lying. Because there were absolute jobs I was there just for the paycheck. One of them was being a telemarketer. That's why I lasted about a week and a half. And then I went over to work at Subsidies. Shout out to my big brother Alan Harrison, who gave me a job when I needed a job after that, after doing that 2 weeks of teleworking back in college. Um, it was, we're doing a lot of things, and we've worked with folks who who actually love the job, love what they're doing, and we have folks that just there if they get there at 8:30 and they leave at 5 p.m. They ain't doing no extra work, no extra time. They just there for the check. They'll even turn down overtime. So, for example, Chocolate Pearl, do you have any instances of that where you had a job that you actually liked and was there for the work, and a job that you didn't have that you was just there for the check?
That's the current job right now, and it's actually both. The reason why I say it's both is for the simple fact that I am uh, a contract, but I love the job. I'm still in accounting, and that's my background, and I consider that my career. I've been doing it for over 30 years. And but the company that I'm with, I actually like working there, but I am a contract. So I like working there, but I am collecting a check.
Okay, okay, okay. Welcome, Miss Leanne. Welcome, Jackie. The topic for tonight, if you did not know, it's: do you have a job or a career? Are you there because you like the job, or are you there just to collect a check? Miss Jackie, holla at your boy. Let me know. Have you ever had a job? Did you first of all, did you out of all the jobs you had, how many of them you actually liked?
Well, actually, I've liked them all because I worked first for Bank of America. I was there for many years and actually retired from there. And I do social services now. Now, towards the end, Bank of America, I did not like because it was all about the numbers. It was all about sales, sales, sales. They didn't really care about the people. Um, my weakness is the elderly. When they're sitting there charging them those $35, just because they overdrew their accounts for $1, $2, that was, to me, that was just highway robbery. So towards the end, I really didn't like it. I was just there for the check. And now I work for social services. I like what I do. I guess it's just the environment there that kind of makes it hard sometimes.
Well,
So it makes you do like the bare minimum sometimes. Not with my
okay.
clients, but as far as, the work is concerned.
Well, you know what they say, we don't quit jobs, we quit people.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, Miss Kim, let's switching it over to you.
I have like all my jobs except for one. It's the one before I went over to social services. I like the work. It was the environment. It was very toxic. I didn't stay there long.
Well,
So
what was the thing that made it? What was the thing that made it
make it
toxic? I mean,
toxic. It was upper management that
did
made
they
it
not support
toxic.
you?
No, it was like I was the token when I came on board because I was more educated than the director. So I was pretty much picked on, singled out. What was left over, nobody else wanted to do. I was targeted at doing. Um, yeah, it was very toxic. I worked almost 7 days a week. I had to keep my phone on at all times whenever the phone rung, and I was a program manager. I had to answer the phone. If it was an incident that happened, I had to immediately do the incident report. Where in the policy, you had 24 hours to do it if it wasn't a severe incident. So it was very stressful to the point that it affected my health.
I can
Um,
see that. I can see that
yeah,
because
it affected my health that I was on so much medication. It came to the point that one day that I did have a bad flare up, and I had to wind up having someone drive me home. So I knew right then and there I had to jump on it and find me another job. Now the job I have now, I love. I love the people I work with. Now we do still have some that at the job I work with are a little petty, childish people, but you're gonna get there everywhere you go.
this is true.
So you just have to ignore that part of it. But for everything else, the other folks that I work with are great. We have a bond together, and it makes the job so much easier that I don't just dread going to work.
I understand. I've been there, the dreading going to work, like waking up, like, do I gotta go? I used to have a joke. I said, I love going to work and I love coming home from work. It was just the work.
Yeah.
Dav's last year loved his job. This year, he can't stand it. He can't stand it.
and
Those
and
kids is really wearing him down.
What
you
grade does
know,
he teach?
Huh?
What grade level?
Special education
Okay.
and the ages, what are the ages? It's red. He has like
15,
from what?
11 to 15.
11 to 15 in one classroom.
Okay.
okay, that's middle school,
Middle
early high
school.
school, but
Yeah,
for
I can
that age, it's
understand.
probably upper elementary
Yeah.
Yeah.
by
That's the
their
low
by
one.
their abilities.
Elementary one.
He said it's the elementary ones that's the problem. They're taller than him.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, I
Very
trust me, I know
disruptive.
that. But
Very disruptive.
yeah, you know, having a son on the spectrum, I know firsthand on big and destruction. So I admire what you do, Dabs. I mean, I know it's a check, but I know you have to have some love because I tell you, a lot of times you just be want to lose your. Give me 2 minutes.
Well, today he did. He really did. Well, yesterday I had to send you a prayer.
Yeah.
I literally, I had to tell him the woosah, and then he said, "Pray for me," and I text him a prayer
Well,
immediately.
get him some
Been there.
get him some praying oil. Get him some praying
Yeah,
oil. Like,
that's what he needed. Take some all to that job
put it
and
on
lay
the
Oh
hands
yeah.
on them kids.
put it on the post. Put it on the post and on the top.
Yep.
That's that hey that anointment. That's what that
And
at least that's what
I
they
will
say.
write people name in my Bible by certain scriptures.
They said
That's
hopefully it
what I had
ain't.
to do to get out of Dead Lake. I had to pray my way out.
I'm about to say hope it don't like demon be gone, be gone, Satan.
That was a rough job.
Yeah, I think he had a one good day last week, and I thought it was gonna be good. Then the next day, it just went to pot.
Well, but that's the life of dealing with children and young
No,
adults with disabilities. It's like
that's
the
the first
bad
time.
days can be real bad, but the good days, it makes you.
First time that this year that he had these kids were this bad.
Every
Mm,
day.
I'm not gonna say bad, disruptive. Let's change
yes.
that to disruptive. They're out of control, and the parents don't care. That's the time that the parents can get rid of those kids for a couple hours,
Mm-hmm.
and
Administration.
administration. Yeah, his administration is. Oh my gosh, they are so sorry. They don't
Well,
care. He got hit in the
it's
head.
there.
Was it
I'm saying no,
last week
but
you got hit in the head with a table this time?
What?
Yeah, they threw a table. Not his
Mm,
head. He got hit in the leg with the
and
table, but
but
he
the
got
but
hit in the head with a chair before.
mm.
said your state ain't good on social services. Maybe if y'all get rid of the guy y'all got in office, that'll change. But with
Well,
that, and these school districts are being sued. They get they're gonna be like, look, we can't do nothing for you teachers because we ain't trying to
Right.
get sued by the parents.
that's the thing. And that's
So
crazy that my thing, what if the teachers decide to sue the parent because of the child? Can y'all do
they
that?
they can't do that technically. They can sue if they get hurt. They can sue their
So we can call
insurance, from
police
what I
on them if we
understand.
really wanted to.
Y'all can call the police on them?
That's one of
Yeah,
them.
this child keeps flipping these
I mean,
desks
maybe.
and throwing these chairs on a regular basis. I seriously believe that they should be able to call the police or do something to alleviate this
And I might be
disruption.
work there after that, but he said you can call the police if you want.
Yeah,
But
that's
anyway,
hey,
he
but
went
that's
this year.
bad
He's going there
because
for a paycheck,
yeah,
and now that paycheck is starting to not even seem
worth it.
worth it.
Oh no, I got you. I got you, Miss Leanne. Same question to you, Miss
Okay,
Leanne.
sorry. My look, I be doing too many things at one time. Um, the one job I had that I really liked, which was very strange, was 7-Eleven. But that was over. See, my daughter is 30. So that was over about 26 years ago or so. And it was because I loved my clients. At that time, is when you could smoke at 7-Eleven and things. So I used to have my everyday clients that would come in there, at the retired men that would come in and sit around, and they would smoke and we would laugh and joke. And then you had your regular lunch hour clients. I met a lot of, because it was in Leesburg, so I met a lot of ex football players. They would come through there. Um, the thing about it though, the pay, the amount of work you did for the pay, it didn't equal out, but it was 2 minutes from my house walking. uh my child care worker, she would come and get my kids from my house, take them to her house. So it so for at that time it was great and it was wonderful. But again, the pay. Now, again, the job that I have now, I'm gonna be honest with you, like most of my friends and coworkers have said, see, I call you friends and then I have coworkers. My friends at work, I enjoy it. We laugh, we giggle, everything. There are a few coworkers, as they said, that have caused problems. But for me, those coworkers give me energy because now that I know that you don't like me, I feel like I'm a superstar to you. So I'm just going to do stuff just because I just don't care about you. But I'm enjoying my clients and I'm enjoying my friends that I work with. Um, so for me, like, and I work as, like I said, social services. Like I said, I love my clients. There are some clients where, they're like they're your best friend. They texting you, emailing you like you family. I don't know you like that, but it's okay. I'm gonna make you feel comfortable. Then you have those ones that just like to get you excited, and I love those. I love a good debate. Uh, but again, I go because I like my job. The pay is the pay. It feeds me. I'm not hungry. I'm not sitting in the dark. But honestly, like
That's a very
I
low
do like
bar.
my job. I like going to work on certain days. I know the whole crew gonna be there. We're gonna have a good time. And they always
Miss
say
Days.
you spend more days at work than you spend at home. You spend more hours at work than you spend at home.
Hmm.
So,
Unless you work from home.
but working from home, that's I'm nah, working from home. I thought I would love it, but honestly, it'd be a lot because I'm tireder. When I clock out, I'm tireder. I'm just like I'm done for the day. Um, but again, to me, I go to work because I like going to work. I like getting out. I like helping people. And like I said, I enjoy my coworkers. Like I consider them friends. Like I would hang out with them outside of work. So for me, that's a plus. So again, like I go because I like it.
So so one, I think, when you talked about the coworkers at your job, sound like you petty LaBelle.
I enjoy it. It's cool. Like that don't even phase me. Like I feel like once I know you don't like me, I'm at that age where okay, you really not gonna like me. Like
I
that's
got
where I
you.
am. Like
I
I just
got
don't
you.
care. Like you can't make me be that upset with you to where I mean it was one incident, and once I got past that one incident where I really wanted to put my hands on you, after that now I'm just gonna bother you with words, with my body language. That's what I'm gonna do to you now. I'm gonna make sure you regret saying good morning to me. Like don't speak to me at all. I'm gonna
remind
make
me
sure you despise me.
remind me not to eat spaghetti from you because you look like you put a root on somebody.
I mean, I am a Geechee. I know roots. I know that stuff. My grandma showed me that. I know it. So believe me, I know we black gypsies, so I know that stuff. But
It,
nah,
I hear that, and my people are Geechee,
yeah, yeah.
and one of my distant relatives actually was the when he was alive, he was the foremost expert on Gullah Geechee
Mhm.
culture
Yeah,
down in South Carolina and Georgia.
yeah,
Oh, trust me, my people are from there, so I understand. That's why I said what I said.
yeah. Yes, yes.
I don't need that rut.
That
Mama.
energy.
But that's the thing is though is one of the things that we have to realize with an occupation. I'm not going to call it a job. I'm not going to call it a vocation. Is where you are in life, who you supporting in life, and where you want to be in life. We're often told to dress for the job that you want, not for the job you have. Unfortunately, basketball uniforms and football uniforms are not my jobs. Can't wear them on my job but once a year. So that was not going to happen. But
I can.
it can, but then yeah, that's another story. But
Job that I work, my job that I work at is called Fanatics, and they're sports memorabilia type company. So you can go in there with shorts and t-shirts and stuff like that. And even though I choose not to do that, I dress for success all the time,
I
much
got
as
you.
possible,
I got
because
you.
you never know who you're gonna run into.
That's true.
That's a
Hmm.
good thing.
And
I'm glad we kind of brought that up. The differences in careers and the job. Um, do we still dress for success? Do we still dress as if we want a promotion every day? Or do we just dress because we just got out of bed? When I worked at another company, it was more of a store maintenance type company where our company maintained grocery stores, electrical, cleaning, all kinds of stuff. But however, we had to wear a uniform, which was, a uniform shirt and any type of bottom, as long as it was appropriate. When they decided that we didn't have to wear the uniform, then people just came to work like they just got out the bed.
that's
Do
because
we
they
still
did.
do that? Do we still do that today? Do we care about what we look like? I know when I was younger, and I don't know if they do that now. I know when I was younger, we act. I was actually sent to a seminar or training or whatever of how to interview, what to wear, and how to search for a job. We don't do that anymore.
Well, that's because and this is a product of the days, especially since 2020. This is how we interview now. So why dress? And you can go on YouTube, you can Google how to do an interview, and you can do mock interviews. So a lot of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, I actually taught, which is what is called job readiness. And in the job that I
Mhm.
have now, we're starting to send our clients for career coaching to know what to wear, how to interview, not just face to face, but virtually, um, how to fill out application. Because
Mm.
even though we are adults, a lot of people don't know.
Mhm.
They don't know. I know like I said, the last job I had, I was told that I needed to stop dressing up coming to work because others may see me and want the rest of them to dress up. I wasn't finna change the way I dress. I'm sorry. I'm not finna dumb it down for y'all. You know,
Mhm.
that's just me. I like to dress. So my last
I,
job, yeah, they told me I need to. Someone walked over to me, bent over, whispered in my ear, and said, "I need to stop dressing the way I dress coming to work."
it's just
I knew
crazy to
that
me.
wasn't the place for me.
That's
Yeah.
just crazy. Yes, it was not. I when I go to work, I dress presentable. I try to dress comfortable, but I still dress
Mhm.
like I'm going to a job,
Right.
a office job at that. I had a bad week. I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was last week or week before last. I had a bad week where I actually wore sweats all week. Not sweats, but I still looked appropriate. But
Right.
I wasn't office dressed. I wore sneakers the whole entire week. And actually that was the week before, because it was Halloween. So the week before Halloween is what happened. And someone said to me, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, uh, and when they asked this was the next week when I was actually okay. I said, "Yeah, why you ask?" She said, "Because all last week you wasn't dressed like you normally dress, and it
Mhm.
just threw us off." You know what I mean? So they
Right.
knew that how I dress in the office is to me an office attire. However, um, when I dress down, they actually noticed that something must be wrong with her because she's dressed.
Yeah. Which
But
I
you
started
have
when the tennis shoes as well because of the accommodations I have in place. Because some days I have a problem with my feet, but I still dress appropriately for the office.
Well, for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I remember my mother worked in the federal. She worked for EPLA, federal government forever, and I used to love to see her go to work because she had like maybe 100 pantsuits with the shirts, and you know she might have wore her
I call
sneakers
those
out the
boss
house.
suits.
Right, she might have had her sneakers out the house, but she had her dress shoes. She had about 4 or 5 pair of dress shoes at work.
Right.
And so I could not wait till I got an office job. Couldn't wait. And when I finally got one, because I've had other jobs, when I finally got one, I was like, oh, I get to dress up and yes. But then the problem came in where I am now. You know, when I'm coming to work dressed and I gotta be a little uncomfortable because you know, as you get older, you know, body changes. So you're a little uncomfortable with your dress clothes on, but you still wear them because you want to be presentable. But then when your supervisor
Oh
is
Lord.
sitting there with some stretch pants on and a
And a
cotton
pajama
t-shirt
top.
and some
Oh
flip-flops,
God.
it's like, then why
The
should I
dresses like
be
that.
putting on this girdle, sucking it in, putting
Partner.
my tights on, and all of this when you just act like you own 4 shirts and that's all you own and we all happy about it. So what am I gonna wear my good stuff, as they say, you know, with your grandparents, your good stuff. What am I wear my good stuff when you just acting like you don't care how you look? So
Yeah.
for
I
me,
want
I
to.
have those days where I want to dress up and be like, yes. And then there's other days where, I mean, shoot, she wearing pajamas. Let me wear pajamas. Like that's how I feel
Hey,
sometimes. Like,
I understand what you're saying. Like I said, when I was going through something the whole entire week, I was in sweats. I call them sweats, but they actually they're like a fitted jogging suit or
Yeah,
whatever.
I got a couple of
Uh,
those. I'm like,
and I still was presentable. However, um, you saying that is understandable, but my thing is this: you never know who you're going to run into. First impression is a last impression, and is a lasting impression. So my thinking is that I need to be presentable because I never know when the opportunity comes and I look presentable that I might be chosen for something great. But, I'm not saying you have to do it every day. However, you just never know when the opportunity comes and you'll be chosen because of how you carry yourself.
yeah, that's
So,
true.
so looking at that, we all agree that you ought to dress somewhat presentable. But we're all older, and things have changed within the communities over the years to where dressing has been relaxed. Now, um, some of us still hold on to that. See, I had no problem with dressing up or dressing down because I wore the same suit for 31 years. So I so
You you wore
I
you
am
wore the same suit, but you had two suits,
yep.
the dress up and the dress down.
Exactly. So, you know, I understand why people would do both because sometimes you wear one and you don't want to wear one. But the thing is, though, is younger people have grown up in a different culture from us. That 40-hour work week, working, commuting to an office, having to really deal with the interpersonal things that people do. That stuff is, almost a relic. I mean, we do so many jobs now to where we're doing it virtually. Why should I get dressed if I'm not going to leave the house? And
Right,
there's reasons why you should, but when you bring that attitude to the office, that's when somebody who's like Miss Kim who went to her previous job and probably always looked spectacular, and then people are like, what are you doing? You're raising the standard. No, you're not raising the standard. You're setting the standard. There's a difference
It's a
because,
difference.
but a lot of people don't want to compete because there's something within them that don't want to be, and plus, if you dress the part, people will treat you as the part because nobody goes to the dude or girl with the hoodie in the corner unless they really need something. When you want to talk to somebody, you go to the person that looks the most presentable. Now,
Exactly.
them being if a box of rocks is smarter than they were smart enough to dress well. But the thing is though is that that's what they look at. They look for the suits. They look for the who's the best dressed, and then they go to that person saying they're in charge because if they're trying to set the example. But those,
Hmm.
that's a lot of us. But we also got to remember we don't mentor young employees anymore.
And yeah, that's true because even just going into department stores or shop restaurants and even the customer service aspect of it is down. You know, the young people they talk to you any kind of way. It's like they hate their job. And my thing is, if you hate your job, then find something else to do.
But
I
that's
mean,
the
what
issue, Miss
happened to
Kim.
good customer service?
Yeah, but that's the thing, Miss Kim. They can't find those jobs because they don't have people skills. They're in people skills jobs, but they ain't got people skills.
They don't have people skills, soft skills. That's
My
and when I went
neighbor,
to conference, that was one of the things that they were saying that was liking with a lot of our clients that we serve is the soft skills.
And that, like I said, that's because we're in a different. Think. I'm putting in perspective. When we were growing up, and we should all in here be Gen X. TV. Remember, we had black and white TVs.
Mm-hmm.
The little 12-inch, and everybody sitting in front of it. TV went off.
Hmm.
Didn't matter how long you stayed up, TV went off. So
Yeah,
and
it
even
went
even the
completely off. We saw
right
fuzz.
and even the radio after a certain time cut off.
yeah,
So you had what else would you to do if you didn't like to read? You talk to people, you
Yeah, true,
socialize.
true.
You got in their face, and as phones became cheaper and cheaper, we started going on the phones because y'all old enough to remember you better not call nobody long distance after before 9 o'clock.
Definitely. Yeah.
So
Okay.
and you remember your parents gave you a dime when you went out. You better call his
Yes.
house.
Call his
yeah.
house. Here's
If
your.
you
Well, for me it was a
emergency,
quarter,
you
but
got that
here's your
dime to call.
quarter.
That's right.
Call home. Keep a quarter on you. Call home. Yes.
So
I actually seen a phone booth.
What?
Yeah.
wow.
Really?
I've
Where?
seen them. They
Yeah,
just don't work. I tried one. It just don't
it don't
work.
work, but I seen a phone booth. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Um, my neighbor, young girl, uh, her mother and there's two girls next door. I happened to ask her. I said, "Hey, you got a job?" No. What's going on? Help you out. She was like, "We want to, but nobody wants to hire." What is their generations called? What this generation's called?
Gen Z.
Millennium.
Millennials?
No, they're
Millennials.
Gen
Millennials.
Z.
There you go.
Oh, Gen Z.
She
Okay.
Yeah, millennials is after Gen
Gen Z.
Xers.
Yeah, I
What
gotta
is it
skip a whole
called?
Oh,
generation.
This- She said that they don't want to hire them because we're not going to stand for the 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 minimum wage that they want to pay us and then talk to us any old kind of way and then make us do more than what it was worth. And I looked at her, I didn't say anything. I said, "Oh, okay." And then but in the saying that when we grew up, a job was a job. And if you
Yeah,
had a
some money is
thank
better
you.
than no
come
money.
on with a
At
project.
4.75 an hour was my first job.
But see, the
I
thing
made
about it
I
is,
made 5.25.
but like,
Mine was two. I am really aging myself, but I think
oh,
mine was 275 back
oh,
then.
But that's when you were
McDonald's.
serving. That's when you were serving at Waffle Fight House. It was
No,
3:35 for everybody
Waffle
else.
White House.
No, this was McDonald's, and I was still in uh I want to say I was in the element, not the, what's the name of it? I think I was in middle school.
We call it junior high at that time. Junior high.
It's called
Middle
junior
school.
high, and they
Yeah.
gave you the part. Remember that you had to have a worker's
A
permit.
work permit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't see. So for me, I'm 51. I'll just say it, and I couldn't get a worker's permit because of my mother's income, which I thought was the most ridiculous thing in the world. Because you want your children to learn responsibility, so I couldn't get one. And then I mean, I didn't have my first job till I was 21 because I'm gonna be honest with you, my mother told me my job was school,
That's what
and
my
then
That's what
my
mom
I
told
told
job
my
was,
me.
and
daughter
then
too.
my job was college.
Yeah.
That's my job.
Yeah,
You
I
go, you
told that to
show
my
up
daughter
every
too.
day. And so I appreciated that. But getting my first job at 21, I'm gonna be honest with you. I, it to me, I I mean, it was just why? Why am I here? Because now I had people that might have been a year older than me in management, but it was the way you talk to me. I don't know you. You don't know me. Now you could talk to these little teenagers over here that are 16 and 17. But for me, you're not gonna talk down to me, especially when number one, I'm only 21. Number two, I know I can beat you. That I was in that phase of my life where I know I can beat you. Um, and I know that if I get fired, my mom gonna tell me, my mom and dad gonna just tell me, come on home, we'll figure it out. So it's all about, I'm gonna be honest with you, how you're raised, the respect level you have. For me, I worked at child support for like years, and there were certain managers I would call Miss, and there were other ones I would just call by their first name or call them nothing at all because it was their maturity, their leadership skills. And I remember I got called into the district manager's office one day, and she told me, her exact words were, "Why do you call me Loretta, but you call the other two supervisors Miss?" I said, "Because they've earned my respect. They've earned, they command that respect. They're not trying to be my friend. They're trying to direct and lead me. Whereas in you trying to be everybody's friend in here, allowing people to do dumb stuff, I can't respect you."
154.
So I was told, well, it's just best that you, if you either call everybody Miss or you don't, or you call everybody by their first name. I said, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just not gonna call you at all. Because again, at this point, at that time I was in like my late 20s. But if you don't command that respect, if you don't show that leadership, why should I give it to you? I'm not trying to be your friend. If I just gain a friend from work, that's great, but I'm not trying to be your friend. So, like they say, it's all about, honestly, in jobs and in anything, it's about the management. I'm sorry, because if
Right.
you hire someone and they don't have the skills that you're looking for, but they have potential, if you manage them correctly, they can get that skill. But it's about, why should I be nice to customers or anything when my supervisor acting like a whole fool too? It's called, for the younger generation.
Yeah, but
It's
but
called
the thing is though, you got to look at how the younger generation came up. When we were growing up, the only reality show we had was Real World,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
And I ain't
and
watched
that,
that.
right? I'm saying, oh, but that was
Right.
tame. That was tame compared to what's going on in the arts in the tens and now in the 20s. Ratchet behavior by people in authority is almost been normalized. Now, I agree with you is that people earn respect, but we have to, one of my old bosses said long time ago, I work friendly until friendly don't work.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you come off, I'm just, if I'm in charge, I'm gonna give you a chance. You have a chance to do well, or you have a chance to hang yourself.
Mm.
It's up to you. and a platitude would be your attitude determines your altitude. So
But
if you're not, the better your attitude, the more chances you have to go higher. If you, but there's some people that are going to be stumbling blocks. We've all had a stumbling block or three in our work journey, in our work, in our
there you
homes,
go. That magic
Mm.
number 3. Speak on it. 3. Okay.
and you know, we have to we have to come within us, go look within ourselves because sometimes we may be the problem and we don't know it. So we have to do, especially when you're going, if you're just there for a paycheck, go in there. My advice would be to go in there and work hard until you're ready to leave. Because even if they don't like you, once you leave and your impact is felt, they'll respect you. Because we don't go to work to be liked. Like you said, we don't go to work to be liked. We go to work to get the job done. And
Definitely.
but one of the other thing is, and this is one of the things that we always have to worry about. It's good to have people in your corner, but we got to stop enabling poor performers. Uh,
Yes, that part. That part.
Definitely.
I agree with that.
because when we
But then
don't
you
say
you have to
anything,
realize that still, even though you don't go to work for friends, you still got to realize that that people's mindset is a popularity contest.
oh, it is. Oh, I make no mistake about that. But I say it like this: my current boss, she's tough. Oh my gosh, she's tough. She's one of the toughest bosses I had. But her thing is, if you perform, I won't mess with you. And for the most part, I still screw up every once in a while, but for the most part, she gives me the latitude to do my job. And that's what most of us want. Some of us want to be told what to do. Some of us
I don't
want to
like
be,
being micromanaged.
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
just,
either.
that's what I'm saying. But some of us do. But some of us can work with it. Hey, this is what I want you to get done. How you do it, as long as it's moral, ethical, and legal, I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay with it. But it's hard for some people when you're so used to being that person. It's so hard to let go of that control and trust and empower your people to be better. My thing is I'm going to make my boss look good. In turn, my boss, trains me to do her job. So when she moves up, I'm ready to move up. And I'm training the person behind me to do my job. So
I used to be like that.
yeah, it's kind of a symbiotic relationship. I look at it as my performance inspiring my juniors, supports my seniors. So, but you gotta, and it goes back to, we don't leave bad jobs, we leave bad people. If people lack the capacity to understand who's working for them, if they understand who you gotta pull the reins on, and who you gotta kind of guide, and you understand how your people work, those elements help make a better work environment. Because let's face it, if we're in the office, the environment needs to be conducive to production.
Exactly.
And from
But
what I understand is that some of y'all had jobs where, and I know I can count myself in it, where you saw things was not right. You made a suggestion and then things got worse because the person you made the suggestion to didn't come up with the idea themselves.
Yeah, and you get laid off
It's called
unexpectedly.
haters.
And that happened to me.
It's
So,
called haters.
Yep.
but but then when those type of environments, what they usually do is they basically draw people, and it goes into a death spiral. Miss Kim, you remember,
Mm.
could you tell the story about that organization that no longer exists?
Oh yeah. Um, it was out of DC. I was hired as the workforce development career pathway manager. They hadn't had anybody in workforce development in years. So I got hired on, and I'm doing the job. I'm building the career pathway. I'm teaching at night, job readiness skills, and I was completely working from home, only had to go to DC once a month, and that was called our all hands on Wednesday staff meeting. And this particular staff meeting, we were redesigning the whole, it was for adults, learning cybersecurity. It was a school, and it was a question raised about workforce development. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I answered it and I gave my feedback. Now, this is all I know is workforce development. Been doing it since the 90s. So I I gave my feedback. He didn't like it. And he was like, we're not here to be negative. It wasn't being negative. I'm telling you where the issue is, because we're meeting to solve problems. So I voiced where this problem was. He didn't like it. He thought I was being negative. So months go by. Next thing I know, I'm called in a meeting. I was laid off. I
And
was let go.
Wow.
I was only there, 3 months? Then after, it was a big like updo. People was upset. I had gave my just recently had gave a report of all the people I had gotten hired within 3 months. Had started having job fairs at the office. It was growing, and I was laid off. People was upset. The next thing I know, the board let him go.
that's what happens.
Yeah.
Um, what's
I
the word
always say
say?
God don't like ugly. That's what happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Exactly.
pride goeth before pride goeth before destruction, a haughty spirit before the fall.
Yeah. So come to find out, he overspent the budget. So now the company no longer exists.
So he had I guess hookers and booze didn't pay for themselves.
I guess not. But yeah, that was
Ah,
an
funny.
experience.
That was a good one.
What you say, Leanne?
That was a good one. That was a good one.
But
Oh, man.
Miss
Yeah,
Jackie,
I've
you've
had an
been quiet.
experience since I
I'm
moved
just listening.
to Virginia. It's been a wild ride since I moved here in 2022. But I have to say, I've stuck it out. Um, and now I think I found the job that I'm supposed to be in, and I'm happy with it. Um, I got,
It's
like
because
they
you
said,
like
we
us.
got our
You
co-workers.
like us. That's what it is. You like us.
Yes, I
That's
do.
all it is.
Y'all make it easy.
So I have
Yes.
a question. So
Go ahead.
what do you do when you're at a job where instead of the trainers helping you grow, they set you up for failure?
That's a job that's not going to last too long because if that's the case, here's the dual-edged sword about work relationships, and I don't mean romantic. I'm just saying work
Mm-hmm.
relationship is people gravitate towards people they have affinity or like. That's in the three types of love. That's the philos love,
Mm-hmm.
the friendly love. It's good when you're in synergy and everybody's working towards a common goal. It's bad when you're looking for people like you and you suck. So then when a person that doesn't suck come in, they're gonna be like, these people suck. And then they'll get rejected because they're not conforming to the, for lack of a better term, suckiness. Uh,
But
it's
there's
a
people in a company that they look at you and they don't want you to grow. They hold
yeah,
you back.
Correct.
yeah, and those are stagnant organizations that eventually do what happened with the company that you work for, Miss Kim.
Yeah.
Um, it's never it's rarely when people are not enabling people and helping them to be better, then that company stops growing. When that company starts growing, if you're not growing and you're stagnant, you start dying. So though they may be a slow death, it may be a fast death, but death is inevitable with when it comes to those type of atmospheres um and issues at work. But the idea is that we're supposed to be going in the same direction. We may not all agree on how to get there, but the idea is to get there and get there as one unit, not as individuals. Some people forget that, and that's why your trainer will set you up for failure because they'd rather you look stupid than them not know something.
But I think that would apply to secular companies, not companies like, for example, where we're at, social
No,
services.
it ain't the systems, it ain't the jobs, it's the people.
Correct. But what I'm saying is, for example, where we are, like we have lead workers. I refuse to go to any, well, there's one lead worker I would go ask a question to. But aside from that, when I started there were three lead workers there. And I would notice that they would tell you one thing one day, but then you're reading policy. And then the next thing you know, they're saying something totally different. Had I not had lead workers in a different agency, I don't think I would have been there today. And still
That's
to this
understandable.
day, I still go to those other lead workers if I have an issue with a case or anything at all. Because I just don't trust, because I saw that from the beginning. You're setting me up for failure because you want to be the person that is the only person that knows everything. And you're sitting here because you sit here and you tell me one thing, but I just got out of training and I'm like, well, that's not what policy says. Even when I would go to these other lead workers, they'd be like, Jackie, is that policy or is that city of Manhattan? Oh, da da da
Right.
way. And I'm like, I don't know. That's why I'm coming to you because I'm confused because I thought that's what I read on policy.
A lot of people don't know how to train others and they
Yeah.
don't know
Right.
how to get the information across
And this is
correctly.
but you know what, though, Miss Kim, and this is a perfect that's excellent. This is a perfect example on why people turn from passion to just showing up because
Correct.
Right.
they weren't taught properly, and the instructor may not have been taught properly because you have to teach someone how to teach. Now, some of us can naturally communicate, but the majority of us need to be taught how to pass information to where the information is understood. This is one thing that I'm glad that I had an aptitude for. It helped me in 31 years in the military. It helped me after the military. It helped me before the military. But the idea is that if there's got the same the things got to be taught the same to everybody. If you're not doing that, you're doing not only that person a disservice, you're doing the organization a disservice. And eventually it comes back to bite whoever's not getting information in the back on the backside because eventually when all is said and done, it's the finger's going to point at whoever it is. Because
Yeah,
if you
because the
have
trainer gonna say, "Well, I didn't tell her that. I didn't say it like that."
Exactly.
exactly, but it's always on a trainer until that person has a chance to train somebody else. It's always on a trainer because you're supposed to how it's supposed to work is that should be a that person should be a reference as to how the job is performed. If I'm telling you one thing and doing another thing, am I a good teacher? Probably not, because I don't believe in what I'm telling you. Because if I'm telling you to do something and then you see me doing something else, that's not you're not be, you weren't taught. You were misinformed. And this is what happens is that sometimes and this is a human thing. Sometimes we look at we can do it better. And then we train that way because that's the way we think it's better. Even though it's not within the guidelines on how you're supposed to do it, some people just care about the results. But the journey to the destination is just as important as the destination because it helps you understand where you're going and how you're going to get there. A lot of times we don't we look for shortcuts and then we learn shortcuts, but the problem with shortcuts is you have to be good at doing it the right way before you can go to shortcuts.
Yeah, and that's why I think when someone is going to be a trainer, they got what is called train the trainer. And before you
Yes.
get in front of a group of people to present information, whoever has designated this person to go up front and train other people, they need to sit with them and hear the material and go over the material and make sure they're giving
Correct.
out correct information.
Correct.
Oh, I agree. That's how it should be. Unfortunately, in today's society, in both the public and private sector, we want results. So to get results, we try to be as efficient as possible. With the thing is that some people teach for them to learn, some people teach for them to memorize. There's a difference. Um, you have to be that, and then also when you talk about your job, if you going in for a paycheck, you're talking about your job differently than if that's something that was your passion. Because when I did recruiting, I would ask students, I said, um, if you want to be in the cyber corps in the army, you have to be a computer. I shouldn't have to tell you to go computer. I don't tell you to go. When I talk to guys, I say I don't tell you to go play sports on the weekends. Does anybody have to tell you that? No, you do it. So that's how you have to be with that. You have to. It has to be a part of you. There's a movie, Kiss the Girls, not Kiss the Girls. Along Came a Spider, and Morgan Freeman told the young agent who wind up trying to portray him, um, you do what you are, and that's the difference. That, in my opinion, that's the difference between a job and a career. Something you do, something that's to be done, a chore, or beautification, something you do, something you are. But ladies, I don't have any gents on tonight, but any gents out there in lovely TikTok land and YouTube land, Facebook land, Instagram land, this show is about to come to the end. We want to watch the rest of the presidential election. Hopefully, you cast your vote, and we'll find out if America wants to be a democracy, or are we going to be in the Hunger Games 2 years from now? I'm moving to Belize, so y'all can stay here. I'm
Hmm.
chocolate pro. You got anything to go before we take off?
Look, I'm doing that multitasking. I'm listening to y'all, and I'm
What?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. That's what I'm saying.
she was behind, but now she's trying to catch up slowly. She
Okay.
got New York.
That's yeah, those are the two things. I understand that. Um
I know one thing with Dabs here, he has taught me more about the election and how it works and stuff like that. So I love that.
that's what's up. That's definitely what's up. But on that
I have
note,
nothing else to say. This was a great show, good conversation. I hope that whatever I stated was some good information for you to take inside your spirit and make your life a little bit better.
and for everybody out there, I want to thank all of y'all. Um, every Tuesday night, 8:30 Eastern, come join to the corner. It's myself, Chocolate Pearl, Apple, and when Beanie can come on, she comes on. I want to thank my day ones that came out and support us through thick, thin, in, out, up and down. And I want to say this before I leave. Never make love by the garden gate. Though love is blind, the neighbors ain't. Y'all have a good one and merry voting day.
Good night.
Thanks for watching. This is the man with the golden voice, the lady's choice, and of course, smooth as a Rolls Royce, saying, never make love by the garden gate. Though love is blind, the neighbors ain't.